Welcome back, guys. Day 2. Let's continue practicing factoring using FOIL. So as you can see, we had 3 exercises left and we have to do. And then we have some more that we're going to continue practicing, okay? For us to understand a little bit what we have to do. So the first thing, as usual, first method of factorization is GCF. We're going to start with this one. Is there any GCF between n squared, -6n, and -40? Is there any GCF whatsoever in there? Yes or no? Is there?
2.
2. Is there any number coefficient that can be divided by 2 in n squared? Is there? No, right? So 2 is not a GCF. So in other words, there's actually no GCF for this exercise. You need to be really careful about that. So what we're going to do, we open 2 parentheses. What sign goes in the first parenthesis?
Negative.
Negative. And then we multiply the signs, right? Negative times negative.
Positive.
So positive. Now remember, we have an even exponent. So we're going to divide that exponent by 2. And we're going to divide it into each parenthesis. So that would give us n and n. Then we're going to look for one number that multiplied by another will give me 40. What number multiplied by another will give me 40?
5 and 8.
5 and 8. Okay, so let's place here the 5 and the 8. And now we're going to multiply using FOIL the first with the last and the inner with the outer. And we're going to say n times 8, that will be 8n. -5 times n, -5n. 8n minus 5n.
Positive 3n.
Positive 3n. Do I have a positive 3n in the middle term?
No, you don't.
No, so it means that this is not what I need to do. These are not the numbers that I need. Let's look for another number that multiplied by another will give me 40. Another number that multiplied by another will give me 40.
4 times 10.
4 times 10, okay. So we're going to place a 4 over here and the 10 over here. And now we're going to multiply. N times 10, 10n. -4 times n.
-4n.
-4n. 10n minus 4n.
Positive 6n.
Positive 6n. Do I have a positive 6n in the middle?
We have negative.
We have negative. So it is exactly the number that I need, but with the opposite sign. So since this is negative and this is positive, I'm going to switch up the signs, okay? And now I'm going to make this positive and this negative. And again, we're going to multiply. N times -10, -10n. 4 times n, positive 4n. So -10n plus 4n, -6n. Now it is correct. And that is my final answer. Questions? Is there any question about this? Easy peasy, breezy, lemon squeezy, right? Now remember, you should not have backgrounds and you should have your camera on. So whoever has a background, turn it off, and whoever has the camera off, turn that on, okay? Okay, are we ready to continue? We're gonna continue with exercise number 2, which is x to the square plus 3x minus 4. Same deal. So is there any GCF? No, right? There's no GCF. So since there's no GCF, I open two parentheses. What sign goes in the first parenthesis?
Positive.
Positive.
Now we multiply signs, positive times negative,
Negative.
Negative.
negative. I got x squared, so this is going to be x and x, because x times x is x squared. So that's why I divided it into both parentheses. And now I'm going to look for a number that multiplied by another will give me 4. By number multiplied by another gives me 4.
2 and 2.
2 and 2? Okay, let's try 2 and 2. Now look at that. We got x plus 2 and x minus 2. If I multiply this, will I get this trinomial? All right, that's a difference of squares. Now, according to what Benitez is telling me on the chat, we should try 1 and 4. Okay, so 1 and 4. And now that is probable. Those are different numbers. That's not a difference of squares. So I'm going to say x times negative 4, negative 4x. 1 times x, positive x. Negative x plus, negative 4x plus x, how much is that? Very good, negative 3x. Someone in the chat answered. Do I have negative 3x in the middle?
Again, the signs differ.
The signs are different. So I'm just going to change this positive to this part, and the negative goes to the first one. And now I can say that I have positive 4 and negative x. Therefore, my answer is positive 3x, which is the one that I have over here in the middle, and that will be my final answer. Questions so far? No questions? We good? Are you sure? Let's see, we got here. Yes, we changed signs. Very good. Any question, guys? No? We're good? Okay, let's go with the last one of the exercises that we have on screen right now. Because afterwards, we're going to do a little bit more. So we have 28r squared minus 20r minus 33. What is the first step in solving this, in factoring this trinomial? What would be the first step in factoring?
Try to find if there's a GCF.
Very good. Try to see if there's a GCF. Is there any GCF in there? Is there a GCF in there?
No.
No. So step 2, what would be step 2? What would be step 2?
Open two parentheses.
Open two parentheses. So I go ahead and open two parentheses. Okay. Step 3.
The signs, we multiply the signs.
Okay. What's the sign of the first parenthesis?
Negative.
Negative.
And then
Okay,
we
so I
multiply.
copy the first sign and then I multiply. Negative times negative.
Positive.
Positive.
This is r squared, so we got r and r. So now we go and look for a number that multiplied by another gives me 28, and then another that multiplied by another gives me 33. So we have here a question. It would be wrong if we directly write. No, it would be exactly the same thing. You can do the change from the beginning. That will be okay. That's no problem. Okay. It's up to you if you find the number at the beginning. That's fine. There's no need. If you set 4 and 1 from the beginning, x plus 4, and then x minus 1, then we didn't need to change the signs. Okay. So you can totally do it from the beginning. In this case, I'm placing the numbers in the order that you give them to me. Okay, so what number multiplied by another will give me 28?
7 and
4
4.
and 7.
Okay, 4 and 7 or 7 and 4? It's for the order. What do I place first?
First try 7 and 4.
Okay, so let's try 7 and 4 first. By the way, I don't know the answers of this. I haven't solved them. I'm solving it right now with you. Okay, what number multiplied by another will give me 33?
11 and 3.
11 and 3. Very good. Now we try to with FOIL to multiply this, and we're going to check if those are the numbers that I needed. Maybe yes, maybe not. 7r times 3.
Positive 21R.
Positive 21r. Negative 11 times 4.
Negative 44.
-44R.
Negative 44r. 21r minus 44r.
Negative 23.
Negative 23r. Do I have negative 23r?
No.
No.
No. So it's
Almost.
not that one, right? Okay, so we can either try and change the 11 and the 3. We know that there's no other number that multiplied by another will give you 33 besides 3 and 11 and 33 and 1. So before passing to 33 and 1, do I change it and try to see if it gives me the correct answer? Or should I change the 7 and the 4? What do you want us to do?
That the 7 and the 4.
Okay, remember this is called proof and error. So it means that you need to try and prove. And if there's an error, then we prove again. Okay, what other number multiplied by another will give me 28 besides the 7 and the 4? Mhm.
2 and 14.
2 and 14. So 2 and 14. And again, I try 2r times 3. That would be 6r.
6R.
Negative 11 times 14. That would be negative 11 times 14. That would give me
154.
negative 154r. Will that give me a negative 20? No, right? That's too big. Okay, so now we have two choices. We had first 7 and 4, so we can try now 4 and 7, or we can try 14 and 2 because we have 2 and 14. So we can switch them up, or we can go and try the other way of 4 and 7. So what do you want us to do?
4 and 7, I think.
Okay, she wants to try 4 and 7. So let's try 4 and 7.
And change 3 and 11.
Okay, let's try first the 4 and 7. So we have 4 over here and 7 over here. It's the same thing as if we change the 3 and the 11, okay? 4 times 3, 12r, minus 11 times 7r, 77r. That definitely will not give us the 20. So we cannot change it. If we change it back again with the 11 and the 3, we're still going to get a different thing. Let's try the 14 and the 2, okay? So 14 and 2. 14 times 3.
42R.
42r. Negative 11 times 2r.
22R.
Negative 22r. 42r minus 22r.
Positive 20R.
22. 20.
20r. So this is my answer, right? This is my final answer.
No, because the answer is positive and there's negative.
So what should I do?
Change the signs.
Change the signs. So this positive will now be over here in the first parenthesis and the negative goes in the second one. And now I'm going to have negative 42R and positive 22R. And my answer is going to be negative 20R. So you see, sometimes the answer is just by switching up the numbers and then switching up the signs. Okay, so, or maybe it would have been easier by changing the 11 into 3. But that's why it's called proof and error. In Spanish, el método del tanteo o el método de prueba y error. Okay, that's the name in Spanish. In English, is proof and error or FOIL, or factoring a trinomial in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, which is what we have over here, b and a, b and x, any real number. Is there any question? Do we have any question? No? No question? We good? Okay, let's do one more exercise. I think we have time for one more exercise. Okay, this will be a little bit complex. Okay, a little bit more complex. So let's see. We're gonna do 2 of them. A little bit more complex one, and the other one will be also complex, but not hard, okay? 12 minus 7x minus 10x to the square. What is particular in this exercise? What is different in this exercise?
The signs.
The signs. Okay, what about the signs? What about the signs?
The x squared is at the end.
Ah, the variable that is to the square is the last term of the trinomial, but it is negative, meaning that I cannot rewrite it, because if I rewrite it, I'm going to have negative 10x squared minus 7x plus 12. So I can actually work with that, but my first term is going to be negative. Do we like working with a negative number in the first term of the trinomial? All right. We said that we usually work with the first term being positive, which is what we have. So what are we going to do? It's nothing, exactly the same thing. We're going to open to parentheses because there's no GCF, as you can see, between 12, 7, and negative 10. First sign goes in the first parenthesis. I multiply the signs, negative times negative, positive. Now I divide the x, but the x will be in the last term. So x, and x. Let me move this. This is a little bit too close. And we're going to do exactly the same. A number that multiplied by another that gives me 12, and a number multiplied by another that gives me 10. So what number multiplied by another will give me 12?
6 and 2.
6 and 2.
6 and 2, okay. What number multiplied by another will give me 10?
5 times 2.
5 times 2, okay. So we go ahead now and try the FOIL. First with the loss and the inner with the outer. And we got 6 times 2x. Six times 2x.
12x.
12x. Negative 5 times 2.
Negative 10x.
Negative 10x.
Negative 10x. 12x minus 10x.
Positive 2x.
Positive 2x. Do I have a positive 2x in the middle?
No.
No. Okay, so remember, we always try to change first the constants, and afterwards we try and see if the coefficient has to be changed. Okay, so let's change this constant. What other number multiplied by another will give me 12?
4 and 3.
4 and 3. 4 times 2x,
8x.
80.
x. 5x times, negative 5x times 3,
Negative
Negative
15x.
15x.
negative 15x. 8x minus 15x,
Negative 7x.
do I have a negative 7x in the middle?
Yes.
So that's my answer. You can see it doesn't matter if the x is in the last term of the binomial or in the first term, like in the previous exercises. At the end, it is exactly the same thing, exactly the same procedure, okay? Okay, last one. Again, is there any GCF between 4, 7, and 15? No. Only the first one and the second term have the x, and only the second and the third one have the mn. So no GCF. I go ahead and open two parentheses. I'm gonna make them big because they have 3 variables. What sign goes in this parentheses?
Positive.
Positive. What sign goes in this parentheses?
Negative.
Negative. I got x squared, so I'm gonna place x and x. And I got m squared, n squared, so I'm gonna place m and n and m and n because they're in the last terms and in the first term. So I need to spread them out and divide them, okay? Now, what number multiplied by another will give me 4?
Two times 2.
2 times 2. What number multiplied by another will give me 15?
3 and
3
5.
and 5.
3
Or
and
5 and
5.
3.
Okay, so now we prove. Remember, we only have 3 and 5 or 5 and 3, and then 15 and 1. Those are the only ones that can give me 15. Okay, now 2 times negative 5. Negative 10.
Negative 10. X.
And
M and X.
x, exactly. This first variable, so you know alphabetical order. 3mn times 2x.
Positive 6m and X.
Negative 10 negative 10 mnx plus 6 mnx.
Negative 4.
Do I have that in the middle?
No.
No.
No. What do I do now then? What do you want to do? Change the 3 and the 5 or change the 2 and the 2? Okay, let's change the 2 and the 2. Back to what numbers?
4 and 1.
Huh?
4 and 1.
4 and 1. Okay. 4 times negative 5, just gonna multiply the numbers. Negative 20 m and x. 3 times 1, that will be positive 3 m and x. Negative 20 plus 3 is not 7, it's 17. What should I do then?
Change the place of the 4 and the 1.
Change the place of the 4 and the 1. Okay. Since it is a 1, I'm going to make it invisible. I'm going to make this a 4. X times negative 5 mn. So negative 5 m and x. 3 mn times 4x. Positive 12
M.
M and X.
m and x. Negative 5 m and x plus 12 m and x.
Positive
Positive
7
7
X.
M and X.
Do I have that right in the middle?
Yes.
And that's my answer. And I finished my exercises. Any questions so far? No? Very good. So basically, this is all the factorization methods that we had time to study. There are other methods like grouping, okay? and other special cases formulas that we could have learned, also the quadratic formula and completing the square. Unfortunately, there's no more time since this is the very last week of classes. Now, remember, we have a quiz in our next class, and it is about systems, solving systems by graphing. That's not coming on your exam. It will only come on your quiz. It will cost 7 points, okay? And with that, we're finished for today.